heart of gold, and fearless. Tony was fearless in the aspect of he was always a protector. So always there to protect everyone. And fearless when it came to sports. He loved sports. Played baseball his whole life growing up. Really good pitcher. And wrestling, oh boy, all the years of wrestling. So good at wrestling. And those were some really fond memories. That day, it's my long day, it was a Monday. And I teach all day long, and then I have a night class. But when I called, the message was that he had sent a message to his baby's mother that there would be a letter for his son Canelo in his right side pocket, and that was it. And he no longer was answering his calls, any calls. Something told me, definitely, I knew it wasn't good. That I called my mom. I said, I'm not going home until I find my son. And she was on the speaker with me. I do not have a reason why, but I drove straight to Ellsworth Park. And when you go through Ellsworth Park, there's the baseball field and basketball, and I didn't pay any attention to it. I kept going straight. And as I was turning, to go under the bridge, there's the walk bridge. And I remember looking over, and I had that gut feeling. I got mad at myself, like, how dare you even think that? Why are you looking over here? My mom's still on speaker. And as I turn on the other side, it's pitch dark on that side. There was one little light at the pavilion. It's so dark, and I had not turned at all anywhere. As I turned, I put on my brights. And I pulled right in front of the tree that I saw my baby hanging from. I can't express what that feels like to see your child. All I could do was hold him up, because if I let go of him, I held him up as long as I could, and then I propped him on my shoulder. And then my husband made it there. And as he pulled in, he saw my headlights with me holding up her son. I can't imagine how he felt to see that. And we finally got him down. And then his brother and his sisters arrived. It was very traumatic. I will never get those images out of my head. That was a really rough day. I can't imagine ever experiencing anything more painful in my life, ever. When you look back, there's definitely some signs. He didn't struggle with depression, but he had kind of what you would say maybe an environmental factor that caused stress, so relationship issue, and that caused him to have depression. I would send him these cute little quotes, just messaging him to brighten his day. I knew he was depressed, but I just thought it was, like a breakup. We all have a breakup, and he was depressed. I walked in one day in his room, and he was sitting in the dark, alone, just sitting there, and you look back and you think, gosh, I wish I would have known he was more depressed. I think too, he kind of showed signs almost as if where a parent would think, why is he being lazy? And it wasn't that he was lazy, it was just the fact that he was depressed. And depression makes you want to sleep or not sleep. For him, He was sleeping much more. Another sign was the day that he had made his choice to do what he was going to do. He had a friend drop him off, and he gave away the money out of his pocket and said, he didn't need it anymore, And so he was giving away possession, Tonio and I never argued. He was a mama's boy. Oh my gosh, We were very, very close. And he started getting agitated. He was, things that didn't bother him before were starting to bother him. And, we had never really even got into a fight. I have 4 children and parents that get in arguments with their kids, especially teenagers, and then when they become young adults sometimes. But he and I never did. And during that process, we did get in a big argument. And so, you look back and those are the hard things, that you think about. He did make one comment, and we were concerned. And I went down the road. He had took off walking, and I picked him up, and we went and parked somewhere, and I talked to him. And that was the first time he said, that he didn't want to be here anymore. I took it seriously in the fact that I knew he meant, from his feelings, his emotion, he didn't want to be here. But as a parent, I didn't take it as serious as he actually would take the action to do it. He had a son that was 15 months old at the time that he just loved him so much. I felt like I died and they forgot to bury me. And I couldn't eat and I couldn't sleep. I didn't even change my clothes that I had on when I found him for like 5 days. I didn't even take my shower until 5 days, It was like I had no willpower. Anything, when I looked in the mirror, I didn't even know who I was looking at. Everything I knew about myself was erased. It was gone. I felt like I was wearing a mask every day. It was so exhausting just to put on that mask, just to face the world, just to put my foot on the ground when I woke up. It's the first thought when you wake up, the last thought when you go to bed. And it was in October when I lost him, and we had to go through holidays. That was so rough. It was like a roller coaster of emotions, so much. And by the time New Year's Eve came, it was a lot. It was too much. I was not moving forward at all. And I actually was going to pick up his son 30 minutes later. And all that ran through my head that day was, I saw everybody celebrating, getting ready to celebrate New Year's Eve, and was happy. And I didn't want to start a new year without my son. That's all that kept going through my head, was how do I start a new year without him? And I had other things to be happy about. I love all my other children. I love my husband, my parents, friends, and my work. I had a lot of great things going on, but I could not move forward. And I don't know. I was only focused on how deep the feelings were inside. I wanted the pain completely gone. And sadly to admit, I did. I took a whole bottle of pills, close to 90 pills. And then I spent a week, at a hospital. And I remember when I finally woke up, I was asleep for a couple days from it, how ashamed I was. Because here, we just lost my son, and I went and did that. How dare I cause that pain on my family? You know, like, they're already trying to take in losing, like my husband losing his son and my kids losing their brother. And then I do that. I felt like I was being selfish. But I didn't know how to deal with it. And the pain was so much. I didn't want to be here. I didn't want to deal with it. And my family was too good. They were so supportive of me. They just wanted me to get help. But it was the very best thing I could have ever done. And that's why I'm telling that story. You know, it's not, you don't want to admit that to people. You don't want people to know that about you. That's hard truth. Especially, you know, some people look at me, you know, and I should be a role model in some aspects to some people. And then I did that. But I was human, and I was hurting, and I was in so much pain, and I needed help. You know, it was always the Alvarez family, you know, Kelly and JoJo and 4 kids, and Canelo. And it changes your family tremendously. Nothing seems complete anymore. Family, you know, traditions and holidays and, you know, any celebrations don't feel the same, you know, even if you try. And if you do get a glimpse of feeling happy, you feel guilty that you're happy. You know, I had what I thought was really real conversation and how that would affect us. I sure didn't know the depth of how that would really, truly affect us, though. You know, I was thinking about, you know, what we could take from it, you know, and it was, number one, suicide is preventable, you know, and we just got to have that, you know, conversation, you know, and tell people when you need help that it's okay not to be okay. I'd like to just share something with you. Is I only shared it one other time, and Antonio wrote his son that letter. And one segment of the letter, he's telling his son, depression is hard. Depression has taken me away from you, son. If you ever feel this type of way, talk to somebody. Don't be like your dad.